A great example is a woman heard screaming out her door of her home. Assumed a woman was either being mugged or raped, perhaps even murdered. She was smart enough not to leave her home and investigate on her own, but rather called the police. When the police arrived in front of her home, she left her safety of the home, walked out to the police car. The first news report said that she walked up there, visited with the police officers, but the passenger police officer side of the car, the officer there shot across his buddy and hit and killed the woman by accident. His gun just went off, was the first report. By the time they got to the court, though, the story had changed, and they said that she walked up there, scared them, and the officer feared for his life, and so he fired his gun out of fear for his life, went past his partner, through the door, and into her and killed her. The woman died just trying to be concerned neighbor of somebody in the immediate area was being attacked, and she just reported it, then went out to talk to the cops about it and paid with her life. And can we learn anything from this? Well, talking to local police officers, they say that's one of the reasons those that have a Glock, this is just a BB gun, but an example of a Glock, they never keep a round in the chamber. Oh, they're supposed to, but they don't. They don't keep a round in the chamber so that if things get excited, they won't accidentally pull that trigger, and they're almost a hair trigger, pull the trigger and shoot before they really want to. And they said cycling that gun and putting a round from the clip into the chamber takes less than a quarter of a second. A quarter of a second. And they said that's more than enough time that you could just take that extra precaution, that extra safety to make sure something doesn't go wrong. Keeping a round out of the chamber is what the local cops talk about doing. Talking to a Fed, one of the things he does, and numerous people also, is that they keep a round in the chamber, but the first round is birdshot. Oh, it'll be followed up by hollow points, absolutely, but the first round is birdshot. And that means at 25 feet, you'll have an 18-inch wide spread. You're not going to miss, you're going to hit them, and the shock of all those BBs hitting will knock a man down or at least stun him so much that the fight is over 99.9% of the time. So you don't have to empty your Glock or kill anyone. Keep that in mind. I also would like personally to see law enforcement go back to what they had. And it worked very well, I said very well, for most of 80 years. 80 years, the entire last century for the most part. And that was carrying a snub-nosed revolver. 6 rounds in it. And that's all you needed back then. And it was more than efficient to do the job. Now you might say, well, gangbangers have more. Well, if they're in the problem, then go get in the back of your trunk of your police car and get a shotgun or whatever you want. But to carry, just simply a revolver. You have a long trigger pull, that automatically means safety. If you need that hair trigger, you can cock and now you're ready to go. Absolutely. And it's just a safer all-around gun. If you look at the accidents in firearms and handguns, you'll see pistols have a lot more accidents than a revolver does. Keep that in mind. And we're trying to learn something. And I would finish with this, talking to law enforcement, not just local, but all around over the last 2 months. This is what I've learned. Many of them wish that their departments and the state and even the federal government would start allowing them to carry SAPs. This is a coin purse, but a SAP. Back in the day, this gave you a lot more courage to get in there close and be able to subdue a villain, a criminal, or crazy in general, because you had that ability to knock them out, to take them out without getting into a ruckus and having to try to either shock them with tasers or spray pepper spray. This just simply dropped them. Or if they put up their fists, it would crush a fist immediately. A sap. The police officers, law enforcement in general, are telling me they wish they had this back in their arsenal so that they didn't have to go to the extreme. This is quiet, effective, efficient, lightweight tool of defense that law enforcement had for so many years. And they're asking to have it back. Now I think they should. Thank you for your time.